what do you think about comedy?
I don't like it.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I do like comedy.
You surprised me. I almost believed you. I'm like, huh?
Well, I used to do a comedy show here in Seoul.
You did?
I did improvisation. 즉흥극.
Really?
Yeah, I did it for several years. Then I got busy.
Yeah.
And then I stopped.
That's great.
Yeah, I
This
like
is why
comedy.
you're so funny.
You like comedy.
I love comedy.
In our personal conversations,
I love comedy.
you're always talking about, this comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Their podcast.
Well, listen, Cameron, but I didn't really quite discover comedy when I was younger, like living in the States. I didn't really know about comedians, and I didn't really have an interest, but as I get older, I'm like, comedy saves the world. You know?
It's true. Well, and if we think about like American comedians, I think more than my generation, your generation has so many good ones.
So many good ones. I mean, outstanding comedians. And they're also great dramatic actors too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just amazing.
Yeah.
So today, the reason why we're talking about comedy is because the article today is a great one. Comedy as a prescription for depression. How's that?
I mean, I believe it. It's kind of like that movie Patch Adams with Robin Williams.
Oh, that's an old movie.
Yeah, where he's like a doctor, but he's also a clown.
That's right.
I don't remember the plot. But yeah, they say that if you're in a good mood, that you're laughing, to a certain extent, it can definitely help you get over some pretty bad health problems.
Right. And don't you think that's why, because, you know, people love Power English, is that sometimes it is a bit of a comedy.
Sometimes it's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy.
But it's a funny tragedy.
Tragic comedy.
It's a tragic comedy.
Yeah. I think these sort of things really connect us.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that is our article for today. Also, here are some expressions. If something takes place, what does this mean?
It means that it happens. It occurred.
All right. And if something is in line with something else,
it agrees with it. It is going along with it.
Okay. And this does the trick.
It is effective for the thing you need it to do.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and see how comedy is a prescription for depression.
We've all heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine. But in this era of high rates of depression, laughter may be the best alternative to expensive and risky antidepressants. In the UK, trials are taking place to provide a prescription for comedy to see if it will improve people's mental health. This program is in line with efforts to lower costs for the National Health Service and avoid overprescribing medications when an improvement in one's social life may do the trick. Early results show that relieving a person's feeling of isolation and stress through laughter has positive effects that last up to 24 hours after each dose of comedy.
Please join us on page 164. You can find the article there. Let's talk about comedy. We've all heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it is something that we do say.
But in this era of high rates of depression, laughter may be the best alternative to expensive and risky antidepressants. Now, first of all, we're not saying, like, if you're depressed and you are on medication, that's not, like, stop and, comedy is the answer. But we're just saying that this could be an alternative. Okay?
Yeah, it definitely could help.
It could help.
Finding those things that make you smile and make you laugh.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt, right? Okay, so basically we want to say that. In the UK, trials are taking place to provide a prescription for comedy to see if it will improve people's mental health. I think even aside from depression, everybody is under a lot of stress and has a lot of mental burdens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did a trial and it took place So if a trial takes place, what does this mean?
It is happening.
It is happening,
It is
yes.
occurring. Someone has run that experiment. So they have done trials. Trials here basically meaning experiment.
Yeah.
They're seeing
Studies.
what happens. There's a test and they're seeing what the results are.
And it's interesting that it's not one trial, but trials.
Yeah.
Many studies are taking place. Okay, so prescription, of course, is, 처방, like the prescription for medication,
Yes.
say. But here, to provide a prescription for comedy, if it has an impact on our mental health. Is it really helpful? Well, let's see.
This program is in line with efforts to lower costs for the National Health Service and avoid overprescribing medications when an improvement in one's social life may do the trick.
So this is really real.
Yeah.
This is not just like, is it good for you? No, this is like at the NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK. So they did this program, and it is in line with efforts to lower cost. So they're really trying to see, could we reduce the medication by
Yes.
offering comedy? Okay, so it's in line with efforts. So if something is in line with something else, what does this mean?
It is agreeing with it, or it is going along in the same way.
Yes.
So here, these experiments, these trials to see if comedy helps people's mental health, it is going in the same direction with these efforts to lower costs for the medical system in the UK. If anyone follows the news regarding the UK, this has been an issue where the NHS, the National Health Insurance, is very expensive.
Yeah.
It's running out of money.
Right.
So they're trying to find other ways to help the health of people who live in the UK. And by lowering costs, they might be able to do something by saying, hey, why don't you go see a comedy? Go to the movies.
Yeah.
Find something that makes you laugh.
Yeah. So if something is in line with something else, it means it's kind of like working together.
Yeah.
Kind of supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of on the same mission.
Yeah, they're not fighting against one another.
No.
They're going in the same way.
That's right. Okay. And what they did was to improve their social life may do the trick. So here, this program, what they're doing is offering comedy. And if you have comedy and improve your social life, will it help? And the expression is do the trick.
Yes.
That's what this means. What does this mean again?
So do the trick is to be effective for the thing that you want.
Yeah.
To achieve the outcome that you want.
That's right.
So this trick isn't necessarily about tricking someone.
Yeah.
Deceiving someone.
That's right.
Here the trick is just saying, oh, this will help you do what you want.
Right.
So if these comedies are effective at lowering people's depression, curing people's depression,
it did the
you could
trick.
say it did the trick.
Yeah. And the feeling that you get is that if this does the trick, it's kind of like finding a solution to the problem.
Yes.
Right? And a simple, not a complicated solution, just a simple solution.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. That was all
Well, that
we
did the
needed.
trick.
Oh, that did the trick. All right. Early results show that relieving a person's feeling of isolation and stress through laughter has positive effects that last up to 24 hours after each dose of comedy.
Yes.
Okay, let's break this down. So, you feel lonely. Okay? And this is one reason why a lot of people who are isolated feel depressed. They're saying that through laughter, these effects last up to 24 hours. Okay? After each dose of comedy. Okay. So 2 things. It lasts up to LAST.
Yes.
Okay.
To last up to means how long something remains. In this case, it's the effect. So how long it is effective. It lasts up to 24 hours.
Yeah. After each dose of comedy. So, as you can see, we're using kind of comedy as a medicine.
Yes.
So, prescription, dose. What is dose? D-O-S-E.
A dose is like saying one serving of medicine. With food, we say, this is one serving, two serving.
That's right.
1인분, 2인분. But here, for medicine, we don't use serving. We use the word dose.
Yes, that's right. So after one dose of comedy, so maybe after a comedy show or after a comedy whatever, the good effect lasts for up to 24 hours. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start doing comedy again.
Yeah, maybe you should. Okay, let's listen to that one more time.
We've all heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine. But in this era of high rates of depression, laughter may be the best alternative to expensive and risky antidepressants. In the UK, trials are taking place to provide a prescription for comedy to see if it will improve people's mental health. This program is in line with efforts to lower costs for the National Health Service and avoid overprescribing medications when an improvement in one's social life may do the trick. Early results show that relieving a person's feeling of isolation and stress through laughter has positive effects that last up to 24 hours after each dose of comedy.
It's time for Power Note. We're on pages 166 and 7. If something takes place, it means to happen or occur. Let's see how it's used. Where are Jake and Anna getting married?
The ceremony and reception will take place at a beautiful beach resort in Bali.
Cameron, we could say, the ceremony and reception will be in a beautiful, at a beautiful resort in Bali.
Yes.
Why do we want to say take place?
There is not a meaning there's not a difference in the actual meaning.
Yes.
But there is maybe a nuance difference.
What do you mean?
If you say be, the wedding will be
at wherever.
You're just basically stating the location. If you add take place, in my mind, it emphasizes the ceremony and going through all of the steps a little more.
I agree.
So it's not a difference in meaning, but for the person hearing it, the image that you will get in your mind is maybe a little different.
Right. And I really do feel like it is highlighting the specific location or event. So like the next one, the meeting took place in the conference room yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, we could say the meeting was in the conference room. That's okay too.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you want to highlight the fact that it was in the conference room.
Right. Something important.
That's right.
Happened in the conference room.
Yeah. So I feel the meeting maybe was a special meeting.
Yeah.
Or, it was, I don't know, something out of the ordinary about this meeting.
Right. Even though it is just saying it occurred, it does feel special. For example, you would not often say dinner took place in the dining room.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless it's a very formal dinner.
Yeah.
It's a very important dinner.
Maybe you were at the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe in that game Clue.
Yes.
When there's like a murder mystery.
Yes.
Like someone died in the dining room. And you have to investigate with the police.
Yeah.
Then you might say it took place in the dining room.
Yes.
It seems like some kind of important special event happened.
That's right. Very good. If something is in line with something else, it means that it is in agreement. They kind of have this rule or expectation, and they have the same. They're in agreement with each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking the same path.
Yes. They really changed a lot this school year. They even canceled final exams.
The new curriculum is in line with the latest educational research. So it's following the research.
Yes, that's right.
The results that they found, they're immediately reflecting it in how they're teaching.
Right. They're incorporating it. Her decision was in line with the values of her family. Right. Sometimes you have to make very difficult life decisions.
Yes.
And it's not easy. But if it's in line with your personal philosophy or your values, it's working together.
Yes. Sometimes, though, it cannot be in line with things.
Yes.
For example, some people make decisions for themselves that are not in line with their parents' wishes.
Oh, yes.
Maybe your parents want you to study medicine, but you want to study pottery.
Yeah. True.
So you choose to study pottery instead of going to med school.
Yeah, this is very common. A sort of how shall I say, a disagreement between a child who becomes an adult and doesn't want to do what their parents want them to do.
Right.
Also, one more example. This could be easily used in a company or in your working place when maybe your boss tells you to do something and you feel like, no, that's not in line. Maybe it's a sort of it's based on your conscience. 양심.
Yeah, so it's not in line with your values.
Yeah. So it's not in line with your values. Yeah. You can't do it. I'm sorry.
I don't know. If it's a company situation, that might be difficult to say no.
That is true. Okay. Do the trick means to be effective and you have the desired result. So it works out the way you want it. My throat is so sore I can barely talk.
A little bit of honey in the tea should do the trick.
Okay. All right. A short nap did the trick and I felt refreshed afterwards. So I do feel like if something does the trick, it's not like a major solution, but I feel like it's a kind of a quick solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So a short nap, okay, it wasn't like a full night's sleep, but it did the trick. Okay? A little bit of honey. It's not like you have some sort of big meal. Just a little bit of honey. It does the trick. Yeah, it does the trick.
Help with the throat, yeah.
Okay, very good. If it lasts up to...
means it is still around, it maintains itself, or an effect will be there for that amount of time.
All right. These light bulbs last up to 5 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
My phone's battery can last up to 3 days.
Okay, very good. All right. Also, our power vocab today is the word dose. So usually we talk about this when it comes to medicine. So the amount of medicine that you are going to have.
Yeah, and it's usually for one time.
For one time.
1 dose, 2 doses, 3 doses.
Yes, that's right. So when you go to the hospital, this is for 3 days, 3 doses a day, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. What else should our listeners do?
Please go to Audio Hakdang for your daily dose of English learning content.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Please do that. All right, thank you so much for studying with us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.